Hello, Rita Lehman here with My Mother's Music, playing my mother's records on my mother's gramophone. And today we're returning to Carroll Gibbons and the Savoy Hotel Orpheans. And I was intrigued a bit because Orpheans is a strange word, and I just wondered a little bit about the history. As I said previously, we have quite a few Carroll Gibbons records, so who was he? And I just thought that I'd look up a little bit of history. And I know some of you enjoy hearing a little bit of the background to this music, so this is what I found out. This is an article called Face the Music and Dance. The Savoy's first famous general manager was the legendary hotelier Caesar Ritz. Ritz arrived at the Savoy in 1890, brimming with ideas tried and tested in the fashionable continental hotels, where he had learned what appealed to most of the British upper classes, spending their summers abroad. One of Ritz's first edicts was that there should always be music in public areas. So music is not new, is it? Music, he said, covers awkward gaps in the conversation. Musicians were duly employed, and the Savoy was filled with background music, provided mainly by small military-style bands playing the popular hits of the day. One evening in 1912, the band started playing an especially popular tune, and one daring couple got up to dance in the small gap between tables. It was quickly clear that the option of dancing alongside dinner was a desirable addition to the evening's entertainment, and the hotel laid a dance floor in the centre of the Thames foyer to accommodate this, just in time for the outbreak of a huge enthusiasm for the tango in 1913. Along with all fashionable London, guests at the Savoy tangoed between courses into the First World War, and all through it in later years as an escape for a few hours from the grim reality across the Channel. Yes, one can understand that. If you've not been to the Savoy Hotel is along a road called the Strand in London, and overlooks the River Thames. Soon after the end of the First World War, William de Mornay was hired as head of entertainment. He set about hiring new musicians who played the modern music that he knew would appeal to a younger audience. From New York, he poached an entire Latin ensemble, quickly rebranded in London as the Savoy Havana Band. For modern music, he looked to both Britain and America, hiring the best musicians and creating a new dance orchestra, the Savoy Orpheans, led by Debroy Somers. Fortuitously, a new radio broadcaster, the British Broadcasting Company, was set up in 1922 and opened its first recording studios on Savoy Hill, just across the road from the Savoy. Anybody that knows that area, it would be sort of more towards Covent Garden. The BBC needed content, and luckily there was potential content close by. The Savoy bands were on the air by October 1923 and soon famous throughout the country, wherever BBC broadcasts reached. Meanwhile, the entertainments department expanded and begun hiring cabaret acts to fill out the evening programme entertainment. One young American pianist, Carroll Gibbons, arrived at the Savoy in 1924, hoping to join the Savoy Orpheans. He would eventually become the most famous band leader the Savoy ever had. Gibbons led the revamped Savoy Hotel Orpheans in 1931 until 1950, and then took over as Director of Entertainments until his death in 1954. So that's an interesting piece of history, a bit of background to this record we're going to play now, called Change Partners by Irving Berlin, from a film called Carefree, and I'm sure that quite a lot of you have heard about that. So here we go.
as you dance every dance with the same fortunate man. You have danced with him since the evening began. Won't you change partners and dance with me?
Must you hold quite so close, with your lips touching her face? Can't you see I'm longing to be in her place? Won't you change partners and dance with me?
Ask him to sit this one out, and while you're alone, I'll tell the waiter to tell him he's wanted on the telephone.
You've been lost in her arms ever since heaven was when.
Won't you change partners and then
We may never want to change partners
A simple lyric and very romantic. So I wonder whether they did change partners in the film and stay together. Anyway, what have we got next time? We go back to the Parlophone label and we return to Harry Wright and his orchestra. And this is from another film, and it's from a film called Walter Wanger's Vogues of 1938. Sounds quite interesting, doesn't it? It's called That Old Feeling. I would imagine that it's another sort of romantic record of lost love. So thank you very much for listening and see you next time.